The Fog Walker has requested the Foundation's assistance. Due to a mysterious change in the small, they've been experiencing extraordinary rates of tuberculosis. We need someone experienced in medicine to go to London and investigate.
Miss Tooth Fairy, I'm Brimley, the Ranger colleague of Arthur Fogg. There's a lot more here. Miss! Watch your head!
Are you here for the Uluru Games? Here in Cross Street, we're all celebrating the upcoming Uluru qualifiers. I'm Flutterpage. I wake everyone up in the morning. The most amazing witch lives here too. These snails are for her to eat.
Is she French?
Why? You seen her in France? I've never even seen her leave the house.
It's all because of her! That fog hag! She's the one who created the black fog! She's cast us!
To protect the health of all involved, the London Uluru qualifiers have been cancelled.
Why should I care? I'm no athlete. I've only got one leg. Just like I've nothing to do with the Uluru Games.
The qualifiers would have held the floor ritual.
She was a once-in-a-generation floor ritualist.
We'll just have to hold our own games.
Have you forgotten about the challenge, Charlotte O'Hagan?
I don't care what anyone thinks. So, I'm the first special competitor in the Uluru Games. To be sure, there will be a second, a third. I'll not be special anymore. But they will remember me. Not for my broken leg, no, but for what I can do.
You're so cute when you nap on the sofa, all scrunched up like a little kitten. Huh? Was I not supposed to look at you? What's the difference if you were sleeping? Hello, call me Flutterpage. I used to live in Millwall with my mum and dad and sister. Higher than a bell tower, and even the clouds!
Once a slouch hat, now a fedora. You can change the appearance, but not the heart. I'll always be that cheerful ranger committed to justice. And no matter what, I'll still be made from that pure Aussie wool. Just as any true ranger would.
Good morning, Mr. Golden Sun. Сука, блядь, swallow my exhaust! Ha!
Alright. Finally, we are back to Reverse 1999. It's been a while. Hello everyone, my name is Kazorikudo and welcome back to Reverse 1999. Hello, Tiana, long time no see. It's been a while since I see you. And also Julian. Right, that is, I gotta be honest, I'm really excited when I watched the trailer. It seems going to be like one of those. It's going to be like a really interesting one. I already fall in love with Flutter Page. She's so cute. And I'm probably going to pull for her later. I actually pull for Willow and I'm pretty lucky I get her on third multi. But when I read her skill and insight and everything, holy crap, that is some confusing stuff. So I'm probably not gonna use it for this playthrough. I'm just gonna rely as usual with Anjo and Lucy. Right, but definitely not going to miss Flutter Page. Despite of maybe I was saying I'm going to say for Noir and what's the other one? Yue? I think her name is Yue. Yeah. Also, something that's very interesting about this event is like, I think we are going to see the perspective from Tooth Fairy, which is very surprising. I think this is the very first gacha event where an event character, Tooth Fairy was an event character, and now she's become like quotation mark the main character of another event. Yeah, I never actually see that before, so it's very interesting for me. But fun fact, I got Willow in first Deadpool. Oh, God. You are much more lucky than I am then. I haven't played this event since I'm trying to catch up with the main story. Oh, you have to do the main story. It's really good. It's really good. How far behind are you, Julian? I can't wait. I like know more about this game. Yeah, this game is so good. The story is probably like one of the best on gacha market at the moment. Alright, without further ado, that we are going to start. What is called it? Chronicles Uluru of Uluru, London Dawning. I'm not sure if going to reference a lot of things from the previous Uluru games. Yeah, the one with Spatodia, because I've completely forgot what happened at that time. And also we are in London, so expecting a lot of maybe British accent. Yeah. First day back in London. Since in London, it's gonna give you like the Harry Potter vibe, don't you think? I'm on chapter 4. That is so far. But Flutter Page DPS or something? Actually I don't know. Oh, we're talking the Big Bang. Big Bang?
I'm ready to go.
Oh, Tooth Fairy is actually really pretty.
Please fasten your seatbelt, miss. We're setting off now.
Let me know if you can't hear the voice. Because I think this one still haven't been read
London, miss?
voice setting. So.
Yes, a long time ago.
Long, eh? 5 years? 10 years?
Longer than that.
Come on, Van. How long? You don't look 100 years old.
What? Oh my god, she's so
The
cute.
hospital is 2 streets away. Oh, by the way.
But is she always this pretty? I completely forgot. I don't think I ever see her since Green Lake event. Nightmare on Green Lake.
For you to meet Mr. Fogg first, and then he'll show you around the hospital.
The first shot, check your teeth. Have you checked? Could you raise the volume? Okay, give me a second. How about now?
I don't see why we need to make a big deal out of a simple visit.
Okay.
Couldn't agree more, miss. But as this is an official visit by Mr. Fogg, as a servant of the Crown, you can rightly expect that they're going to have the whole place decked out like Christmas.
So we have Mr. Fogg on Reverse 1999 and we have Mr. Fox on Path to Nowhere.
Thank you for taking me there directly. I will go to Mr. Fogg's office after my visit. You can leave without me. I think I'd like to take the underground.
The tube?
They
You won't
call,
like
they
it,
call it
miss.
shoot. Yeah.
Not the kind of place for a decent young lady. I'll wait here for you, love. I'll do my best not to crack into my flask of whiskey while I wait.
That is so British.
Thank you.
I kind of miss
I'll
it
be
actually.
back soon.
Oh, we're gonna cutscene. Demento. Oh. Uluru, London qualifier open. You know, and both of them for can't be touched.
How are things at SPDM, Tooth Fairy? I'm hearing rave reviews about their school physician.
I'm glad to hear it. Young children are particularly easy to soothe. A few candies and they behave just fine.
Her voice is so soothing.
A little toffee or a nibble of a fruity sweet, and they've forgotten all about the Tooth Fairy's taste. A proper dose of sweets serves to calm the nervous system, and that doesn't just apply to kids.
I do agree. That is why I don't really recognize her expression. It seems like totally, I don't know, like a new Tooth Fairy. She pulls a piece of milk candy out of her pocket and softly places it beside Madame Z's mug of strong tea.
Your work here is undoubtedly busier than mine at SPDM. Besides, you're directly responsible for our timekeeper, the little troublemaker. But I am sure you didn't summon me here all for a little chit-chat.
Madame Z unwraps the candy and places it in her mouth, allowing it to slowly dissolve. Then she places a stack of papers on the table before Tooth Fairy.
The Foundation has now confirmed the correlation between social turmoil and the emergence of the storm. Our branches around the world are now making efforts to collect information on these key social movements. As you may know, there was a strike that has only just ended in London. And there is something I'd like to show you, besides the strike itself.
We are still in the 1990s, if I'm not wrong. Tooth Fairy rapidly flips through the papers. She quickly spots the crucial element.
Tuberculosis.
Indeed, there appears to be abnormalities concerning air pollution and reported cases of TB.
I agree with you, Julian.
Compared to our records before the storm, TB morbidity rates are extraordinarily high, approaching levels that shouldn't be seen until the Great Smog
I think
of 1952.
during the Green Lake, she seems very, I don't know, strict and cold in a way.
Our Mr. Fogg, the fog walker, has also reported that there is something unusual about the composition of the fog.
So, we need an insider with knowledge of the storm to visit London, ideally one with a medical background. I see.
Imagine you're sending Medicine Pocket instead. We need a special event for Medicine Pocket.
I know, your winter vacation just started, but I'm sure you understand the dire situation we find ourselves in. I'll apply for a special allowance for this field mission. What do you say?
I'd be happy to go. Perhaps I'll collect some rare teeth from this era.
Good luck then. Mr. Fogg will contact you when you arrive. He is our liaison between the Foundation and the British government. He'll take you to the hospital, handling many of these respiratory patients. You will be given full trust to resolve this problem. There is something else. The Uluru qualifier will soon be held in London. It may factor into your investigation.
Uluru qualifier?
TBC is related to lungs and they send a doctor specialist in teeth. Well, I wish you know more about Storm though. I think that Fairy is medical in general.
Fair in Cross Street. Support your favorite competitors. Winners will represent Great Britain in the Australian finals.
I think why her name is Tooth Fairy, I think she like to eat fairy.
Australia?
If I'm not wrong.
They shipped my uncle off to Australia back in the day.
For what reason I
always
forgot.
figured he got done in by a kangaroo. But if the Smoky gets any worse, I think I might chance it. Maybe I'll find him in the outback there. Or at least avenge him.
With a tense frown, Tooth Fairy folds the flyer. The Uluru Games are not her current focus.
That smoke seems to have severely damaged that hospital. But you don't seem concerned.
We've seen worse, miss. You wouldn't believe how many houses we lose a year to gas line explosions.
This is like another Tuesday for them. For the British.
Nothing much can shock us Londoners. It's a city where you can meet arcanists from all over the world. Arabians, North Africans, Indians and Japanese. Who knows what kind of arcane skill they can cast.
The police are on the scene now, but can they really do anything to clean up the hospital?
Well, police have got their own way of dealing with things. None too friendly. I think you should bring this up to Mr. Fogg. He's one of the few folks that look out for the working man, and he's never afraid of calling out the upper class.
I suspect Mr. Fogg
what a normal
would have known
day
before
while
we
explosion happened.
Let's follow the path of this dark soot on the street. Maybe we can find it, or its owner.
As you like, miss.
The car makes its way eastward, weaving through the increasingly narrow street.
Seems it's leading us to the East End. Only thing that comes out of the East End are drunks, tramps, and Jack the Ripper.
Whoa, wait, Jack the Ripper is 1990? The brakes screech as the car comes to an abrupt halt. The car shudders from some impact as a child's scream fills the air. Did we just hit a car? No, did we just hit a child? Oh, bloody hell! A sudden stabbing pain strikes the nerve in Tooth Fairy temple. She almost wait. The driver pokes his head through the car window, scrambling to justify his mistake. This looks so dark already.
Miss, I swear to high heaven that I have not had a drop of drink today. This is the East End for you.
Okay, calm down.
Either you hit someone, or someone hits you.
Is it like one of those insurance scams?
Please, miss, take a look for me. Tell me if I hit anything. I can take it.
It appears there's no one in front of the car.
No one?
I'm up here!
Flutter page.
Look up there, miss!
Oh, the fairy looks up to see a flurry of paper fluttering and spinning through the sky. A particularly vibrant bundle of fabric resembling some kind of burlap sack hurtles through the center. I want to squeeze her cheek.
Can you catch me?
Sack.
Huh?
Catch her! I will catch her! The little girl's skirt catches the wind, and she drifts weightlessly through the air. The colorful scraps of paper spiral through the air and swirl around her. They are all Uluru flyers still waiting to be distributed.
She's being lifted up on the wind. Is this her arcane skill?
Flutter page,
If so, She's amazing for her age.
She gently descends, seemingly headed straight into Tooth Fairy arms, but at the last moment she shifts direction and lands softly a few steps away.
You lose. You ain't going to qualify for nothing like that.
Huh?
Are you hurt at all?
Why would I be? It's not even as high up as a canary nest. It's no sweat with the help of little wind.
I'm glad they told us right away that Flutterbird is a girl because I've been scammed with Ezra and Charlie.
But Tsukiki was hurt.
Ezra actually
Car
got
hit
me
his
though.
waist.
Is this Tsukiki your friend?
Sutikiki? Who's that?
Yes, but he ran away. He's probably angry. I bet he's still around. He don't forgive easy.
She points toward the shadowy alley to her left, where in a dark, smoky corner a pair of glowing eyes peek out from behind a garbage bin.
See? Over there. That's the Sutakiki. And I'm Flutterpage.
Oh, she's blushing! Is it?
Could you bring your friend out? I'd like to make amends if I hurt him. Especially if he can't work.
Who is Sutiki?
Oh, he doesn't work. But you still need to apologize.
Flutterpage turns toward the alley, waving into the shadow to call over her friend.
Come on out, Sutakiki. This bloke here wants to apologize to you.
She's so cute. We need to adopt her. Whoa! The Sutikiki stares in the shadows, disturbing the pale yellow smoke before suddenly leaping forward. Oh, is it a crater? Why she makes an emphasis on the he doesn't work?
That thing doesn't even have a waist. And he's as big as a kangaroo.
His waist is right there. Can't you see?
A frightened critter is dangerous. Please stay back, child.
Oh. What this looks like?
Which of these darlings
What
shall
the?
we
That
take
is
first?
actually scary.
Sir, I suggest you cover your mouth and nose. There's something off about the smog.
Christ, so the rumours are true. I never should have gone into an alley like this on such a smoggy day.
Kiki.
He's looking at the end of the alley. He must want to go that way.
The smog's not as thick there. I think he wants to escape. Maybe the smog's harmful to him too.
Should we just let it go?
Perfectly understood.
Charging. Loading.
Do have a little faith in me, Master.
Target confirmed.
One shot.
Now, to preserve this memory.
Bollocks! Turn over already, you stupid car!
Like they put all of this thing in the middle of the road. I think it doesn't meant for a car. The engine roars to life again, its piston drumming the retreat as the car careens through the streets.
Why did Mr. Driver run away like the Sutakiki?
He was worried for his car. If it got damaged, it could cost him his job.
Oh.
Lose his job? Oh, got it. I don't want to lose my job neither.
Come on, them back in the day. Oh. The little girl gives an empathetic nod, but a child her age has no place in anything to do with the word work.
He has a car, so I wager he makes more than 6 pence a week.
6
How did he
pence?
get that job? Can I do it too?
Wow, what's 6 pence a week?
I suppose you could, once you grow up.
Is it
Here,
really that
Open your mouth.
on 1990? Tooth Fairy produced a shimmering jar of ointment made from ground golden fairy and lanolin, a concoction capable of soothing one's fear of swallowing a tooth fairy for the first time.
What's this?
You were hurt. It's a kind of ointment. It will numb the pain if you ingest it, or reduce the inflammation if you rub it on your wound.
I'm so gonna pull for Flutterpage.
Was I hurt? I feel a little pain. But what do you mean by inflammation? Does that mean I'll catch on fire?
Take it, and you will feel much better. Doctor's orders, kid.
Tooth Fairy looks like a mother. The little girl's curiosity easily trumps her hesitation toward the unfamiliar. She stretches her neck and sucks Tooth Fairy's ointment-covered finger.
Huh?
Did she actually? Did she actually?
It's a bit sour, like a moldy raspberry, but still sweet. Why aren't other pills as sweet as yours?
Did she actually?
I see. So you're a witch doctor, aren't you? I can tell from your metal mask, teeth necklace, and the golden fairies in your jar.
That is a reasonable assumption.
So you're here for the Uluru Fair then? Must be. You even got the flyer with you.
Girl, have you heard the word? Use your own head.
Actually, I'm here as a doctor to investigate a tuberculosis outbreak. But the strange black fog damaged the hospital I was heading to. I followed the trace it left behind to this area.
Isn't her hand like wearing a glove?
Black fog? There ain't no black fog. Around here the smog is yellow, and sometimes I've seen black smoke puffing up from the factory chimneys, but never in Cross Street. I'd like to be an arcane skill, miss. Lots of us arcanists here. That's why we're all chuffed up for the Uluru qualifiers. There's herbalists, sidekicks, diviners, magicians.
Thank you, Flutterpage. I think I've got the idea.
Better not to look at details in game like this. Left to her own devices, Flutterpage could recite the job of every arcanist on the entire street.
Great! Then I'll show you around. You'll like it here.
Flutterpage grabs Tooth Fairy head and drags her toward the heart of Cross Street. Yeah, that's typical British street name. Charing Cross. I don't know. Cross. Other cross. Oh, what's this? It's a good start. I love it. I love it already. Swallows in the chimney. What?
Welcome to Cross Street!
Makeshift stalls line the street as the Arcanists celebrate the approaching Uluru qualifiers. This event will decide who gets to represent Great Britain in the finals from Australia. Flutterpage lets the last of the Uluru flyers slips from her fingers. They scatter as they soar on the wind and drift into half-open windows.
Stop littering, you grimy little bunk.
This is the Uluru Fair!
Tooth Fairy inspects the street, studying the alleys on either side, but finds nothing.
The trace of the black fog seems to have disappeared into a large gathering of arcanists. A wise choice. A choice, I'm already assuming, that has a certain level of intelligence.
Ultimately, she's only a doctor. When it comes to things outside of illness, she often finds herself lost.
It sounds like a monster. Like from tall tales what adults make up to scare us. But I heard people talking when I was sitting on the roof. They say it was born from a smokestack.
It does appear to have a similar composition
How dare
to
Will
soot.
talk like that to my kid?
That's no good for the birds, Miss Doctor. I sure hope it don't come here. I don't want it to muck up the Uluru Fair, or scare the canaries away from the chimneys.
What's so special about the canaries?
They always know where the lanolin snails are hiding. All I'll do is give them a bit of old bread or seeds, and they find me the snails. It's my snail catching day! Stay right there, miss. I'll be back soon as I've finished. Don't go getting off your sauce while I'm gone.
You're so cute. With that, Flutterpage drifts toward a stall decorated with Union Jack bunting before disappearing like a whisper on the wind. A gentleman in a fine grey woolen coat stands tall nearby. He is utterly incongruous with the rest of the street.
This is an Arcanist Fair Booth application form. You need only fill this, and get proper approval from the city government. Then no one can bother you.
Approval, eh? What's the point? The games will be over by the time they've even looked at my application.
Are we entirely certain we even want to hold the fair in these conditions? Don't you think the weather now isn't appropriate for that kind of strenuous physical activity?
What else can we do? We need to earn our bread, or perhaps you could clean the air for us, eh, Mr. Fogwalker?
Oh, he's Mr. Fog?
I'm doing all that I can.
Which means you can't do nothing at all, don't it? Yeah, we're coughing. But what we make in a day at the fair here is more than an entire week anywhere else. Not like we have royal allowances to rely on, unlike you. Enough of it already. Now, would you mind moving aside for the little lady behind you? She's been waiting a while.
Who? Flutterpage?
Oh, I do apologize, miss.
Huh? Oh.
Miss Tooth Fairy.
Did you just call Tooth Fairy little lady?
I didn't expect to run into you here, Mr. Fogg.
The pleasure is all mine, miss. Oh, where my manners. Welcome to London.
A cross-street local hurries by, letting out a sharp, violent cough. That was awkward.
Of course, we were supposed to meet in the office of the London Atmospheric Cleanup Committee. I'd have prepared a fine Indian tea for you.
Well, I'm actually expecting more British tea.
But
since I'm in London,
called away to deal with
okay.
matters here on Cross Street. It's a happy coincidence that you popped by. It will save us both some time.
Wear your mask. Mr. Fogg awkwardly fiddles with his gloves, clearly feeling embarrassed at the indecency of their meeting. Thankfully for him, Tooth Fairy seems more concerned about the issue at hand.
Something the matter? You mean the air pollution?
Not precisely, no. Though one could say the problem is related. In fact, it seems just about every one of our problems comes down to these sticky contradictions. For example, contrary to good wisdom, the people of Cross Street have opted to continue their fair, despite the obvious dangers of the fog. That's just unreasonable.
You're the unreasonable one here, mate. Stop the Uluru fair on account of a bit of fog. Fog in London. Should we cancel if there's water in the Thames next?
I don't know, sometimes I heard them swearing.
Citizens should be made aware of the harm caused by fog, and reduce unnecessary outdoor activities.
Stop saying
Pardon
fog,
me,
please.
You lot government officials?
A few busybodies gather near the two of them, ready to catch the latest gossip.
You saying we aren't allowed to celebrate the Uluru qualifiers? So what are you expecting us to do? Just watch the games and then pop off home? It's not like there are many events left for us Arcanists to celebrate in our own country.
Sir, you seem to have quite a severe cough.
Yeah. Get a mask.
Oh, it's not so bad. Just a little curse is all. Doesn't matter none. A good Arcanist healer can cure me.
That's exactly what I've been talking about. A curse? Good lord, man. You have a disease called tuberculosis. You need a proper doctor, not a healer.
Maybe this is just how citizens in Cross Street best comprehend the disease, in the Arcanist way. It's not a matter of Arcanists or humans. Tuberculosis is caused by the presence of bacterium in the air. It can't be cured through ritualistic purification or exorcism.
Does that mean it's going to be contagious then?
You just don't get it, do you? It's not like that.
If he cough like that.
If this tuber what have you is the reason, then why does my chest burn like hell? I've never heard of no bacteria what could do that.
You feel like your chest is burning?
Like swallowing a flaming coal it is. It all started this month. Never felt anything like this before.
Like I said, there's no disease. This has to be the Fog Hag's curse. She's the one who summoned this damnable black fog. She used to be a toad before she was thrown into an alchemist's cauldron and came out as a twisted old hag that haunts our street.
Could you tell me more about the black fog?
The vendor remains silent, shooting a hostile glance down Cross Street.
Shh! Don't say anything about it. It'll bring bad luck.
He coughs, waving his hand to scatter the attention of the crowd, then vanishes into the yellow smoke.
So now we have a fog hag? What's to come next, I wonder?
He raises his hand in resignation, knowing that as a gentleman he should speak no further on the matter.
Sometimes,
this is what they
despite being an arcanist myself,
goes around.
It's hard to understand my own people. But that's what they think around here. My colleague is presently out investigating this curse they mention. But, to say nothing of his intrepid skills as a ranger, I doubt he'll produce any evidence of this so-called hag. In fact,
A long sharp whistle cuts through the air, like that of a rider galloping across the plains of the land down under. But what follows is not the sound of hoofs.
Arthur, a little help, mate. We've got trouble.
Oh my god, I don't know, it's just so funny. A head-running, a hobby horse races forward, his coat fluttering in the thick smoke like a cavalryman returning from a reconnaissance mission. A dark cloud follows close behind him.
So, here it is.
What? What happened?
What's that after you now, old hat?
It's the black fog. Seems I've startled it, and now it's sent
So
out
where your
critters
body?
into the streets. Steady on. Let's charge like soldiers of the Great Emu War.
Carbon call. That's a good
It's
one.
the hag. The hag's curse is coming for us.
Those nasty critters are coming from her garden. Run!
Critter? Oh shit, my stamina.
Which of these darlings shall we attend to
When the
first?
critter has armor.
Charging. Loading.
Do have a little faith in me, Master.
Barrage.
Lucy's
And
2 OP.
now, to return to my long-term...
May I say it was an honor to serve as your bodyguard, miss. I'm Brimley, the ranger colleague of my mate here, Arthur Fogg.
I wasn't hurt. Thanks to you.
There's no reason your character to be this. Mr. Fogg lightly brushes the soot from his coat before walking over to Tooth Fairy. Despite clearing away most of the black fog, his expression looks grim.
Thank you, Miss Tooth Fairy, for telling us what happened at the hospital. We ought to make a summary of our investigation so far.
Seasoned government employees are particularly good at providing summaries.
We've encountered 3 oddities thus far today. This mysterious black fog, the unusual burning chest symptom, and...
The hack? He carefully considered his words before bringing up the difficult third point.
this so-called fog hag living on Cross Street.
Is he sweating? I think he also have TBC.
Well done, mate. You did it.
Maybe.
You
I don't
said
know.
it out loud. We may just break the ice of your soul yet.
I'm only doing my due diligence by quoting the title verbatim. Back to the topic. Combining these clues together, we should assume a causal connection. The hag releases black fog, giving Londoners this variant of TB with the burning chest symptom.
When did you move into 221B Baker Street, mate?
I really like his sarcasm. The fog walker shifts his gaze, knowing that even if he were to inhale a mouthful of that black fog, his face couldn't look any grimmer. Probably make the most green man, but with no body.
It's a reasonable speculation. If so, then the first thing is to determine if such a lady lives here on Cross Street. We'd better pay her a visit.
I'm still making a sandwich. Ooh, seems nice.
If you insist, Dal.
I'm guessing that's your breakfast then.
I can already confirm that for you. She's here, all right. Down at the house at the mangy front garden at the south end.
His voice is so deep.
Very well. But might I suggest we don't all go in a rush to pay her a visit? We know nothing about her, or even whether this hag is a danger.
A little figure squeezes its way in. Oh, Flutterpage is back?
Oi, Miss Witch Doctor, you done talking to Mr. Fogg and Mr. Hat?
Flutterpage, where have you been?
Mommy's worried.
Wasn't you listening? I was off catching snails. With a bit of help from the canaries.
Flutterpage lifts an old glass jar filled with snails. Ooh.
Good on you, little tacker. That's quite the harvest.
She tucks the jar away in the folds of her clothing, then lightly grabs the hem of Tooth Fairy coat.
Shall we then, Miss Witch Doctor?
Where are you taking me?
Thought I'd show you around Cross Street. Figuring since I'm the best guide here.
Are you? Then, do you happen to know about the house at the south end of the street?
I think Tooth Fairy has a soft spot for Flutterpage already. Flutterpage pondered for a moment before her eyes widened in realization.
Sure do. Actually, these snails are for her. You can tag along with me to see her if you like.
What's she gonna do with the snail? Oh, it's so cold today. Wait, let me just wear my jacket. Do 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 do. This is the kid every parent's want after all. Even me is already full already. Like, yeah, I want to adopt her. Fog hack. I think we're gonna meet Willow. The smoke in the garden feels unusually dense. It has taken on an almost milky, gelatinous quality. The damp, fishy air sticks to the visitors. Sparse ivy winds around the unseen stone wall, its bare roots clinging desperately to it.
This right here, miss, is the Fog Lady's house. As you can tell, it is a very big, big house. Not like mine. Mine is small, but very high up.
Steep, tilted roofs, sash windows. It's very Victorian.
Oh.
Oh no. Her name ain't Victoria, miss. At least, I don't think so.
No. I mean, Victorian architecture is a kind of style of house.
Page.
I'm saying this house must have a long history.
Oh. Too right about that, miss. It's been here for ages. Come along then. I'll take you in.
Flutterpage doesn't knock, nor does she touch anything resembling a doorbell. She simply leads Tooth Fairy straight to the garden gate. You like the dog guard? The guard dog? Several carbuncles peek out from among the vines before quickly retreating, their eyes still locked on the visitors.
Are these her critters?
You lot are hungry today, ain't you?
From the folds of her oversized frock, Flutterpage pulls out a jar filled with snails. Oh, so this for the
They ain't
critter.
for you. They're for the lady of the house. Now please let me and Miss Witch Doctor through.
What? Willow is a good enough debuffer though, I would must say. I think she's like poison.
Sorry, Miss Witch Doctor.
Poison
He was much friendlier
buff,
before.
debuffer.
You've been here before?
Yep. They always let me in straight away. No clue what set them off this
Maybe
time.
because Tooth Fairy is here. Flutterpage stands on her tiptoes, planning to hop over the barrier, but after a quick glance at Tooth Fairy, she abandons the idea.
I don't rightly know what to do. I try calling her, but it won't do much good. Even if she heard me, she won't come out.
You're saying she never leaves her house?
Not that I ever seen.
How she got food there? There is no Uber yet.
Do other people visit her?
No.
But you visit her often?
She likes when I bring her snails. You think she
Ew.
eats them?
Ooh.
All I know is I gave her her snails. And then she asked me to stay around her house for a while.
Make it so brave when it comes to bug. It's curiosity.
When she's not in a sour mood, she even teaches me some words for arcane skills. But if she is sour, then all she does is hand me some books, and I can't even read most of them. Don't go asking her too many whys. If you do, she says, "Get out!" and you got to go. So far, the longest I stayed was a whole afternoon.
I see.
Tooth Fairy surveyed the old mansion. To her, it looks more like a small castle than a house. She decided not to disturb the formidable witch dwelling within.
Maybe I'm the reason they aren't letting you in. I'll just stay back here.
All right then. Stay there and I'll tell her about you, miss.
The carbuncle lower their guard as Tooth Fairy retreats. The strange plants and critters in the garden clear the way for Flutterpage as she makes her way down the path. Flutterpage raises the snail jar high above her head, as if presenting some kind of token.
Miss? Do you hear me? Wakey, wakey!
The lock clatters heavily, and the hinge on the old oak door give a mournful groan.
Here you go, miss. A fresh batch of snails.
She doesn't respond. The witch stare is fixed on the unfamiliar woman by the garden entrance. Miss, you need apprentice.
Who is this?
Well, I don't know her name, but she's a witch doctor. She came here in a car with a flyer of the Uluru qualifiers, so I think she's here for the Uluru... Oh, I forgot that you don't like the word.
Hello, miss. I'm here investigating the source of the black fog. You can call me Tooth Fairy.
Well, isn't that Tooth Fairy still in the gate entrance? How come she can hear her?
Go away.
But why? I ain't asked too many whys, Vis, did I? That was only my first one today. Oh.
Oh. She realized something.
So I can't come in at all? You promised you'd help me practice my arcane skill.
Then you better not let me catch you saying Uluru ever again.
She's like one of those introvert that just shutting herself like for a long time. The witch anxiously snatches the snail jar from the girl's hand and closes the door. Oh! Miss, you forgot to pay the bill. She's like the delivery. The door closes.
Aww. Oh! She left me a book. Look, it's got a carbuncle on it.
Come here, Flutterpage. Are you all right?
I thought I could play at her house today.
Would you like to do something else?
Like what?
Like, see your new friend, Mr. Hat?
Miss, we only do suit.
Mr. Hat?
we forgot to like record it, and put it on Twitter so it go viral, or TikTok or Instagram.
Miss Flutterpage, I'll ask you to not wear me on your head.
Huh?
I know I can fly, but that doesn't mean you can treat me like a kite. Besides, I'm due to begin my patrol. I need to...
Ooh. A gust of wind blows brimly into the hallway, spurring Flutterpage to give chase.
That gives us some time for business. First of all, allow me to express my respect for your adventurous spirit. A haunted hag mansion whose owner feeds on snails. To visit her so quickly on your own initiative was a bold move, Miss Tooth Fairy.
Flutterpage is very mature. He now has no choice but to admit the existence of the witch.
Here's your tea. No sugar, just as you asked.
And of course, he has kept the promised Indian tea at the forefront of his mind.
The connection between this lady
What about the cake,
and
though?
the black fog will require further confirmation. However, judging from our encounter, she doesn't seem to have much concern for the world outside her home. I also noted that the word Uluru seemed to irritate her.
Uluru.
Uluru? As in the Uluru Games? Not a fan, I take it. It's certainly odd for an Arcanist to have a negative impression of the games, though not unprecedented. Which reminds me of this letter. I suspect our fog lady might be glad to hear it.
Mr. Fogg places a voice letter between the two of them. The paper swiftly transforms into a white mouth.
Letter from the St. Pavlov Foundation Uluru Games Organising Committee to the Uluru London Qualifiers Organising Committee. Copied to the Office of the London Atmospheric Cleanup Committee.
That is very long.
Due to the rapid deterioration of air quality in London and the presence of an unidentified arcane-related tuberculosis outbreak, we regretfully have decided that the Uluru London qualifiers will be cancelled until further notice to protect the health of competitors and spectators. Competitors still wishing to participate are encouraged to register for the qualifiers in Paris or other cities.
The paper folds itself up and drops back onto the table. Mr. Fogg sighed.
I received this shortly after submitting my report concerning the events on Cross Street.
They're right. It's better for everyone's health.
No objections here. But it's certain to cause a stir. Miss Tooth Fairy, you saw how passionate the citizens were about this event. What it means to them. They'll eat us alive when we announce this. So much more so that it's cancelled because of air quality. The firm will not be pleased, I can assure you. This great city will be the laughingstock of Europe, if not the entire world. Unless there's a way to clean the air in London. Perhaps then I might convince the Foundation to reconsider.
Mr. Fogg, there's only 3 weeks left before the qualifiers. It's a serious effort just to address the smog over London, let alone this new black fog and the disease that has come with it.
3 weeks. 1 for making plans, 1 for enacting said plans, and still 1 more for the final procedures.
He slumps into his chair with his arm crossed and glares furiously at the voice letter on the desk.
What are you doing now, Mr. Fogg?
Thinking, Miss Tooth Fairy, is how I make the plans.
Brimley, fleeing pursuit, eventually finds his way back.
Forgive me for interrupting, Arthur, but I had to call off my patrol earlier than expected. I'm afraid I need a favor of you, Miss Tooth Fairy.
Also, Mr. Fogg's actual name is Arthur?
Hmm?
I just noticed that.
Would you mind helping us with some of the sick? After that black fog rolled through, patients with this tuberculosis variant seem to be multiplying as fast as hares in the Great Artesian Basin.
Where's Flutterpage though? What did you do to Flutterpage? Oh.
Through misty woods, on paths concealed by haze, he thrice died and thrice was born in ancient days. Guide me rightly, that I may not stray.
Whoa. By the wheel of fire, a witch is dancing in the ritual ground. He performed her dance alone. Only the shadow cast by the flames accompany her.
Flowers bear fruit, and beasts give offspring's way. With eyes of fire pierce through the cloudy maze.
What is this dark magic? You're doing it at
failed again.
Your house? Don't you afraid to get burned or something? She clenches her right leg, her fingers turning white at the tips.
I won't get anywhere so long as I can't move right.
I mean, like, there's not enough space. The typically docile carbuncles are now locked in a frenzied shrieking match. What should have been a calming ritual has quickly turned into a bloodied war drum, and all because of a single misstep.
Enough! The last thing this haunted old place needs is another crazy creature.
She sounds like an old woman for some reason. In spite of looking very young.
Which of these darlings
What the
shall
hell
we
is
send
that?
to first?
There's like something coming from Plant vs. Zombie.
Charging, loading, go on.
So she admits she's crazy.
Target confirmed.
Crazy critter lady.
Now, to preserve this memory in our dreams.
So close to level up. One more. Wait. I think it's supposed to be level up, right? Why is not? Whoa, I think I have to screenshot this. Exactly 55.
It's Willow.
Does it happen to have level? I think it has.
I swear to God.
She collapsed by the wheel of fire, causing the intense flames to suddenly die down. She swiftly grabs a blanket from the pile to cover her legs.
Whatever thing you are, don't think I won't strangle you to death with my bare hands.
Wow, that means she's pretty strong if she's gonna use her bare hands. She struggles to her feet, but just as she's about to stand, what like gives away. Oh. The little girl tumbles through the window and into the room.
Bloody.
She tries to lift herself up for the second time, but can only support half of her body. She looks up to find a little face among a pile of stitched and restitched clothes. There could be no more embarrassing or infuriating way for another to behold her.
You? What are you doing here?
I only wanted to show you the arcane skill you taught me.
Flutterpage nimbly gets back on her feet, bouncing around as she shakes off the dust. Seeing that the girl is unharmed, the witch turned her face, hiding her fleeting look of concern.
But you are in a bad mood, aren't you?
Oh
what
no,
happened?
her eye!
I promise I didn't call you Miss Willow in front of others. You said I can call you Miss Willow when it's just you and me, right?
And you actually listened? First time for everything, eh? But it's not about what you call me.
Then what is it?
She stares at Willow in confusion. Suddenly, she realizes why she's lying on the ground.
Let me help you up.
I don't need it.
With a flick of her wrist, Willow's coat and hat leap onto her like loyal dogs. She tries to stand up for a third time, using the rough stone pillar beside her for support, and finally manages to straighten herself out.
So then if you value my words so highly, what about the time I told you I don't need a knocker-upper?
I remember. You told me there's no sense waking me up for anything. I don't have any work to go to. But I'm not here to wake you up, am I? I already did that for the whole street hours ago.
Oh, have you now? Then maybe you can buzz off and bother someone else. I didn't give my permission to let annoying little flies in my house.
Can you...
I'm in the middle of something important,
turn off the
leave me be.
Willow grabs a broom handle and points it toward the window Flutterpage opened.
Just one more question, miss. I'll be quick. Miss Tooth Fairy and Mr. Fog say you made people sick with the black fog, but I know you didn't do it. Did you? You never told me you can summon black fog.
Done with all that nonsense, are you? If that's all you knocked on my window for.
But if you didn't, I can tell them the truth. Or you could even help them find the black fog. You're the best witch I know.
Their problem is no concern of mine.
Oh. But I did hear something. I was thinking maybe you'd like to hear it too. Letter from St. Pavlov Foundation. Due to... what? Deuterion air quality? And arcane tubal-keeled kiss?
So cute.
They said the Uluru qualifiers are cancelled.
Stop.
Oh, Uluru, don't say that, Flutterpage.
Do you understand at all what you're saying?
The Uluru?
No, but...
Go away.
Aww.
I said get out!
Whoa, 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 whoa. What's that one for? She seizes Flutterpage with both hands, half dragging, half pulling her toward the open window. And then throw her.
You know what I don't want to hear, eh, lass? Your voice.
But why? Her voice is so cute. Flutterpage is flung out the window and carried away like a kite with a broken string on the breeze.
And your infernal knocking.
This is so cute.
Don't you never take another
Willow
step
is
into my house.
just a child.
Never.
Why? When she's angry, she sounds like, I don't know, an old lady. The room reverts to its familiar silence. No life save for its solitary resident, just as it has been for the past decade. Her hastily thrown-on coat and hat slide to the floor as Willow leans on her right leg and limps over to the storage table, filled with bottles and jars. There's still enough mucus left over from yesterday's nails for her to use. She pours the liquid from the jar into the cauldron.
Just a wee bit left.
Oh, at the very least, she's not actually eating the snail. She set the fire alight, and the lubricant starts to bubble in the cauldron.
Eat snails?
Don't.
Let them think what they will. I don't care. The fog hag. A toad monster. A failed work of an ancient alchemist. Yes, of course, Charlotte O'Hagan. You're nothing but an ugly, evil, terrifying fog hag living in a haunted house.
Yeah, I think she's pretty
You deserve
cute, though.
every bit of it.
So her name is Charlotte. She's actually really pretty. She lifts her eyes and gazes out the window. To her surprise, she can see the moon. A flurry of small clouds slowly making their way across it, and a flock of silhouetted birds swooping and swerving in tacit harmony. How do you know it's not Flutterpage floating around like a kite because you throw her out? Like the white sheep that roam those vast rocky hills, like the witches in black robes who dance together in perfect unison.
What an age. At last, witches no longer need worry about being captured in their sleep, pierced on a stake, or burnt alive.
Wow.
Our next competitor is our witch from Ireland, a once-in-a-generation talent!
The ancient rituals are different now. We dance, communicating with spirits like a joyful game.
The Uluru Games!
Or a graceful competition.
And the winner for the floor ritual is...
A desirable.
What?
I left the pot on.
The smell signals a point of no return for the lubricant, and its appearance confirms it as she sees a small blackened mass stuck to the bottom of the cauldron. Willow prosthetic leg grinds and creaks as the joints rub up against each other, causing her hip to itch.
Back and back. Fit for the rubbish now. Rubbish.
Man, she's so depressed. That's why you should turn off your stove off before going out. Or not making a fire cam in your bathroom. It's so dangerous. It get too close to your bed sheet and then it's just going to like burn the whole house. Oh, Flutterpage. Don't have stamina. Little knocker upper. What is knocker upper? Wait, what? London have those? I didn't know. I didn't know London have those. As morning breaks, the rooster crows, announcing the start of another day of hard labor for the people of the East End. In this land of industry, shipyards, and factories, there is a dire need of coal, fuel, and the labor to sustain them.
Good morning, sir, madam. This here's your wake-up call.
Aww.
Rise and shine, wakey time.
You mean chicken screaming, guys? Yes. Apparently, the chicken in London it sounds the same with in Asia. Flutterpage looks up to the grey sky above. There is only a touch of blue, and no sun, stars, or moon to be seen.
Enough! I said enough with the gal. I'm already awake, ain't I? So stop buzzing around.
The seasoned knocker upper deftly dodges the basin full of food, washing water that has just been flung out the window and slips through the alley and onto the next street. Damn, all of these adults doesn't take it easy to Flutterpage. She still has a job to do. I mean, doesn't it normally in every country?
Wakey, wakey! Morning's here!
The thing, like, I really hear
You awake?
those this
You can't be late again, or old Mr. Pig Eyes will be on you with his belt. What happened? Didn't she hear me?
Because like I live a couple of years in the UK, and I don't think I ever heard of that rooster sound. Suddenly she shoved from behind.
Oi, who did that? Shut up already, Liberty. Didn't you know Mrs. Wilson was sick?
Oh no, is it the TBC?
She's sick? What's wrong? Doesn't hurt like swallowing a burning coal, does it?
Who told you that? Yeah, maybe. Plenty of folks have been getting that too. My dad says it's a curse.
It's not a curse, dummy.
I'm no dummy, Liberty. You are, believing anything what that hag told you. She's a dirty, ugly old liar, and she's the one who cursed everyone here. She's a toad what can't get out of her house to see sunlight, and decided to curse us all just because she didn't like the fair.
Have you gone off your rocker, Freddy? Just leave me alone. I got work to do.
Freddie Mercury.
That's work, eh? You call knocking on people's window work?
Be nice, you have a free alarm. The boy rolls up his sleeve and pats his bicep.
I climb up in the steam turbines to tighten up the screws, and I clean them chimneys from the inside. Think you can do that, eh?
But I don't want to tighten screws or climb up chimneys. I don't like the smells.
Oh, so you like the smell of this black fog, do you? All thanks to your wicked hag friend.
Go away.
Whoa! Oh, she was a close line pull at the boy's knee with a sharp crack. I don't really mind if the flutter page hit the boy. But the boy though, don't touch flutter page. The boy leaps toward the girl but loses her among the heap of rags.
Huh?
He swivels his head toward the sound and stands there shocked as Flutter Page deftly leaps over him.
What the?
The fog lady taught me this.
Lady? You mean that hag? I should have guessed. You'd be that ugly toad witch's apprentice.
You're not my friend anymore.
She runs off deeper into Cross Street. Are they even friends since to begin with? Oh, Freddy, that's hardly fit the job requirement. Don't be so realistic, Julian. This is still 1990, okay? The old mansion looks just as it always does. From the strange garden to the ominous building half lost in the haze of the smoke. Even so, Flutterpage is hit by an unusual feeling, one she can't quite place. Quiet?
It's not snail delivery day, but after she threw me out of the house last time, maybe I'll go apologize.
She's a good girl.
Maybe then I can learn some more tricks from her, or at least read her books.
The creature eyes her warily.
Hello, hello. Now, why didn't you let Miss Tooth Fairy in last time? She's not a bad person. She even gave me some flying medicine. It was sweet and sour. You think Miss Willow's lonely? She needs new friends, and maybe some flying medicine too.
The carbuncle seems to reject her assessment, leaping side to side in a clear display of defiance.
But this time, I won't go through the window. Not that I get why she was so mad. Was it that I stopped her from eating breakfast, maybe? Well, time to figure it out. I bet if I walk in from the front door, she won't be so angry.
Flutterpage enters the garden like she always does, except this time, the carbuncles don't make way for her. What? They leap at her. What the hell?
What's wrong?
Why become so aggressive? Flutterpage swings to the clothesline pole, but fails to drive them off. They close in on her, malice in their eyes. Fortunately, reinforcements come galloping through the smoke. Is it Brimley?
Miss Flutterpage? What in the blazes are you doing here? Good lord, I hope you didn't get hurt.
Mr. Hat!
Miss Bartley, I'd advise you to please stay a safe distance back.
No.
What? Who's this?
Just look at the state of this garden. Oh, Charlotte, what have you been through to fall this far?
She's pretty. I'm surprised that she's not playable. Who are you, pretty lady? She's like the opposite of Willow.
Loading. Charging.
Please, allow me.
Eliminate target. And now to return to my long-term mission. Rest.
Why didn't it didn't level up? Is it the maximum level? Level 80?
Thank goodness, you're in one piece.
I don't get it. They ain't never bit me before.
Well, you must always stay alert when you encounter critters, even in a familiar place. That's some genuine ranger's advice.
A ranger? Are you really a ranger? Can you be a ranger without a real horse?
Glitch?
Will I get a hat like you if I get to be a ranger?
Fortunately, a hat's range of expression doesn't include awkwardness, or much else for that matter.
Hi, miss. Are you here for the lady living here?
Flutterpage circles the unfamiliar lady, looking her up and down. Oh, just imagining it is just so cute.
Miss, you look a lot like Miss Willow, the fog lady. So straight and proper like a swan.
Miss Willow, you said?
Doesn't even have a face. Flutterpage claps her mouth before realizing she wasn't the one to utter this name.
Yes, Miss Willow. Did she say you were allowed to call her that too, miss?
Allowed?
Even her sigh carries an elegant, melodious quality.
What kind of nutter has she become? Thank you for taking me here, Mr. Brimley. I can handle the rest myself.
She makes a gentle motion with her hand, signaling that she has finished talking.
You're welcome. Let's go, shall we? Hey, little tacker? It's not safe to leave you here. I'll escort you to the hospital. Miss Tooth Fairy needs your help.
All right.
Oh, her eyes! No! Her eyes! Flutterpage holds onto Brimley's coat as the two of them leave the garden. She looks back a few times. Caroline remains totally unmoving. It's as though she can converse with the owner of the house through her stare alone. I think Willow is looking from the window. Maybe.
I thought a hospital was a big building. This is more like a fair. Only with sick people.
Patients lie on basic steel frame beds. Their once pristine white sheets now marked with yellow and grey stains. Ooh. In the face of such a scene, the bright flags of the Uluru Games now look lifeless and limp.
Well, you're right there, mate. It's not your typical hospital. Arthur's calling it the London Emergency Relief Centre for Special Tuberculosis Patients.
But it's still kind of a hospital, ain't it?
She doesn't linger on this thought for long. The image of the unfamiliar lady in Willow's garden won't leave her mind.
Who's that swan lady? She's not from Cross Street. How did she know Miss Fog Lady?
Swan? I suppose you mean Miss Caroline Bartley. We're hoping she'll be our lifesaver.
Mr. Fogg appears behind them, looking rather pale.
Lifesaver?
Exactly so.
There's a curious spark behind Mr. Fogg's eyes. He looks straight ahead as he speaks.
See, my hat friend. We civil servants can actually accomplish a thing or two. We found Miss Bartley, a shining star of Uluru, a talented competitor, and above all, she's an insider. She arrived in London days ago, looking for our Fog Lady. She claimed to be an old acquaintance. Some luck, isn't it? If she can figure out the connection between her, the Black Fog, and this fiery TB... Oh, speaking of which, that Miss Willow truly has a special name.
Heh. What are you laughing at? How long have you been up, mate?
I like his accent. Oh. What was the sound? A thought crosses Brimley's mind. His partner has probably hardly slept all week. A burst of glorious figure illuminates the Fogwalker face, like sunlight breaking through a gap in the grey sky.
Sleep? Who needs to sleep at a time like this? I'm more than energetic. I'm a veritable locomotive. Better than ever.
Arthur, you need to get some shut-eye, mate.
Is that what you think? That I'll just go back home for a little rest now? Now of all times? Dead wrong, mate. We've got rounds to make at the London Emergency Relief Centre for special tuberculosis patients.
That is a really long name. Can you shorten it out?
Come with me, my chapeau chap. We've got a city to save.
Mate, I think you lose your mind. Mr. Fogg grabs the hobby horse and forcibly drags Brimley away with him.
Oh, all right. Miss Flutterpage, go find Miss Tooth Fairy, would you? She said your arcane skill might be of some help.
I like how the voice is getting lower. The two of them quickly vanish into the streets.
My arcane skill? Help? How can I help a witch doctor? Maybe Miss Tooth Fairy will tell me. But where is she? So many people here. I can hardly tell them from one another. Oh, but she has got those golden fairies with her. Maybe I can see them. Like how Miss Willow taught me.
To control the wind, you need to learn to see it first. Can you see the wind, lass?
Only when it's blowing something around, like dust or old paper. But I ain't got nothing like that with me now. I used all of it when Freddy tried to catch me. Is there anything else I can use?
Oh my kid, my child. She scans through the pale yellow smoke, the fluttering Uluru flags informing her of the wind's direction.
Oh, I see it.
The wind picks up, and the flags, along with the people clothes, start to flutter in the same direction.
What with this wind, eh? Where's it coming from? Oi, me hat! Please, is there any good Samaritan who can spare a blanket? Oh, God bless you.
The smoke dissipates in the wind, and for a brief moment, the air is noticeably clearer in this small corner of the world. At one of the beds, a little golden fairy is being held by its wings and placed into a patient's mouth.
Miss Tooth Fairy!
Flutterpage, there you are.
She swiftly closed the patient's mouth, making him swallow her bizarre medicine before walking briskly over to Flutterpage. I forgot the lore of the fairy. I mean, like, if she actually put the actual fairy in there, it's kind of like pretty cruel, don't you think?
What's wrong?
We've got to find a way to clear up the sky.
By the way, there are how many chapters in this one? 19. The oak door slowly creaks open, the inside air meeting the outside and stirring up a faint mist. She struggled her way through the garden, a brazier in her arm.
It's been near a week.
With every step, her right leg gives out a painful creak. She looks at the half-open window. This week has been a number of uninvited guests, but not one of them was the one she's been hoping to see. Oh, she's hoping for someone? That curious little thing who flutters back and forth like a sparrow. Oh, Flutter Page.
This is how the world works. I should have known.
Could be done one day. I don't think so.
I'm always too naive.
Usually, reverse is quite long. So probably gonna do half. She carries out her usual task of clearing out the garden. First, she gathers dry twigs and leaves to use as kindling. Then she strikes a match, throw it into the brazier and wait for the fire to grow. As the fire intensifies, she gathers the trash from around the garden, most of which is flung into her garden by her neighbors, and adds it to the fire.
A dead mouse. Classic. Sure to disgust me.
Oh, that's cool. Willow picks up the decaying mouse carcass and tosses it into the flames, the fire flaring up so fiercely it nearly scorches her eyebrows. In the early years, she would often watch from the window, her dark eyes fixed on the people who passed by.
Rotten apples and eggs from that boring old codger. I suppose he's down to his last teeth now. Soon enough, the only thing he'll be eating is porridge. Bit of comfort in knowing he hates porridge.
Even now, the old mansion doors and windows remain firmly shut. The owner's face hasn't been seen for many years. All the neighbors know is that a fearsome witch lives there.
Hands burnt by steam. It's a curse. Bumping into ghosts during the Samhain. Curse. Lost everything betting on the ponies. Each and every misfortune must surely be Willow's curse.
She picks out some garlic from the garbage bin. This simple seasoning can be repurposed as seeds or fertilizer.
Superstitious fools.
The only time that cannot be utilized are the wooden carving with bizarre symbols on them, rumored to possess the power to ward off demons.
Shysters.
Demon banishing water is the most clumsy and silly item, but is also the most manageable to deal with. Willow simply lets it be, treating the water poured into her garden as free irrigation.
Brats.
Salt. This is the worst offender. It dehydrates the plants, often killing them outright. She digs up the tainted soil, ready to wash later.
Oh. Well, now these are new, aren't they? Blood-stained rags. Wonderful. Sooner or later, they'll all cough their lungs out.
I kind of feeling bad for her for a bit. The stiffness in her right leg is unbearable. Mosquito. Moments later, Willow's leg gives away and she collapses into a patch of potato flowers. Soft, soggy soil. A limp, decomposing body. Huh?
No!
She smacks her prosthesis on the knee, as if the blow will set the joint back in its rightful place. She grabs the dirt as she fights to get to her feet, struggling. This is a struggle she's long grown used to. Lured by the sound of her strikes, the carbuncles slowly make their way toward her.
Away with you!
The critters scatter, ducking behind the leaves and watching her quietly from a distance. She clutches a vine with one hand, but it only throws her off balance, and she falls to the ground once again.
Horrible.
She is more proficient in the art of balance than almost anyone, yet she also finds it more difficult than anyone to adjust to even the smallest imperfection.
No, I don't need to cast my arcane skills. Stand up. Stand up. You loser, you. I need machine lubricant. I suppose I need to buy some.
This time she makes it to her feet.
I can do this. I will do this. All by myself.
Her steps grow clearer, more steady. She grips the delicate metalwork of the gate.
Nothing to it.
Oh, is she finally going out?
Let's go.
Her leg clacking like a slow, mournful melody, she stepped into the smoggy, somber streets of London. There's a makeshift sign on the door.
Shop closed due to illness, while the owner has gone to Miss Tooth Fairy for treatment. Please leave your name, order and address on the list below, and we will deliver it to your home as soon as the owner recovers.
When though? She picks up the pen, then set it down again without writing a single word.
Tooth Fairy. Alright, then I can find the owner if I go to this Tooth Fairy. Is she some kind of doctor then? Not that she could treat what ails me anyway, eh? What other shops might sell canary saliva and lanolin snail's slime?
She wraps her cloak tighter around her body in an attempt to fend off the cold, damp air.
All this time I could have done this, if only I hadn't relied on others for so long. There must be another store for arcane supplies. But... I think I need to lie down.
The cold hue of the night still lingers in the morning mist. The Thames has never looked so quiet. Across the river, earth-red flags flutter like burning balls of wire. A smattering of white emergency medical tents are scattered below them. A trampled Uluru qualifier flyers floats down to her feet, brushing against her ankle.
Sports fanatics, black fog, strange tuberculosis. All these things have nothing to do with me. All I need are my ingredients, nothing more. I ought to just order what I need as a home delivery. Ask them to leave the package at the entrance of the garden once a week. As for the fees, I'll just have to sell all me old medals. That'll be enough to support me until I become a proper hag. Then I can never leave my house till the day I die. There's something dark rising up from the water.
Nothing special. A bit of old rope. Or an old boot. Why can't it be a swan? A black swan here? Really? That's why you ought to go out more often. Else you'll miss these precious moments. A chance to see something special, like a black swan. Look at it. Some creatures are born with these smooth, pitch-black feathers. But it's only under the sunlight that you can see their iridescent shine. That's when all the other animals can only look on and feel themselves inferior. They can never stand out from the crowd in the same way. Your silence is an answer. I know it. Just as I know every time you lash out and curse, you're cursing your own failure. Walk closer, Charlotte. Why don't we take a better look at it? Look at its gracefully long neck, those magnificent wings, and how it glides across the water. All swans are beautiful, but only the black feathers make it truly stand out. It brings back some memories, don't it? The feeling of being one with the swans, and the flow of each step of our dance. We were so close to perfection. All we needed was for you to spread your wings and fly.
Oui?
Fly to Paris, Cairo, Istanbul, and eventually to the Uluru rock. Then it comes to me, and I can hold it in my arms, lift it above my head. This perfect, shining golden medal. Standing on the Uluru rock.
Miss Willow, but what are you doing out here?
Who's that?
You've got to move. Black fog is coming straight for you.
Ignore the noise. Eyes on the swan. It's only a tacky, white swan, covered in soot. How ridiculous it looks now, wearing that false disguise. The poor thing, it must have been covered accidentally.
Miss Willow, why are you looking at that swan? It's dead.
Of course it's dead and gone. That's right. What kind of swan would want to be with something so ugly and stained? Of course it's ended up alone. Died alone. What else were you expecting? You didn't really believe that spread your wings and fly bollocks, did you?
Hello? Can you hear me, Miss Willow?
You ought to thank the black fog for lifting your illusion. Now you can see it rightly. You're not some special black swan that was born to greatness. You're nothing but...
Miss Willow, what's wrong with your leg?
but a cripple.
Come back for the paint.
Widow lowers her head to see that Flutterpage is standing at her feet. Tooth Fairy stands a few steps away, calling out to her. Flutterpage gently touches her prosthetic leg, revealing the secret she has been too proud to admit for the last 10 years.
Why? Why didn't you tell me about your...
You're much stronger than I thought, Miss Willow. If you allow me to address you as such.
Leave me be. I'm going home.
I'll walk you home. I got you. Miss Tooth Fairy and I was just chasing after the black fog, but I can walk you home first.
I just want to go home.
Willow uses all her might to turn, but still can't do it with any grace. Her stiff right leg continues to impede her.
I'll go with you.
She stretches out her hand and pulls at Willow's clothes in a clumsy attempt to stop her friend from leaving.
Flutterpage.
Willow swats her hand away. Oh, no, Willow, no! Let Flutterpage help you.
Huh?
Stop following me!
Miss Willow!
I just want to go home!
Flutterpage remains in place, her eyes suddenly filled with tears. Tooth Fairy steps forward and pulls her into a hug. Oh, Flutterpage. And Willow too, yeah.
I don't want you to follow me.
They look on as Willow shakily walks into the smoke, each step grinding away a little more of her dignity. I wonder what caused it.
The floor ritual is one of the most popular events of the Uluru Games. It has a bewitching style that generates a resonance between the dancer and audience. Charlotte was a genius. She was born for it. And God has sent her a coach covered in dark feathers and skilled in ancient Celtic runes. Coach Raven taught her the primal witch dance that ignited a fire within her.
Raven?
At least, until that tragedy 10 years ago, which took her leg. Coach Raven had given her a pocket of flower seeds as a reward for all her diligent practicing. It said they were from the druids in the forests of Glastonbury. I guess she planted them around her house and got this garden. Now all these bizarre plants share the same strange air with their owner.
The plants in the mansion garden are all drooping toward the ground. There is a new sense of weariness that wasn't present during Tooth Fairy's last visit. It's getting gloomy. The woman by the door gently shakes her head as Flutterpage crawls around on her knees, searching for bugs among the foliage.
Thank you again for having me over. That's all I have to say about Charlotte.
Flutterpage's head pops out from between the plants. So cute.
What's a druid? Is it a place? Do they have canaries and snails there?
A druid isn't a place. It's a title. An identity.
Identity? Oh, like a name. Just like Flutterpage, right?
She quickly falls back into her own musings.
Thank you for your cooperation, Miss Bartley. I'm sorry to be taking you away from your practice.
Yes, you should be. I don't much enjoy being bothered by stuffed-up bureaucrats.
The accomplished floor ritualist has never been one to hold back her words. Yeah, how can you say something like that with a smile?
But if you ask me...
Caroline glances once more at the narrow window of the old Victorian house. It's tightly shut.
I will tell you that it isn't Charlotte that's summoning the black fog. I stand by that. I swear it on all my honor as an Uluru competitor. We're witches, but not in the traditional sense. We practice witchcraft to win medals instead of summoning devils.
We trust you at your word. It seems like that concludes our investigation into this fog hag. Thanks again, Miss Bartley.
Miss Tooth Fairy, if you do want to thank me, mind doing me a favor?
Tooth Fairy nods, but Caroline seems to have an unusual hesitation as she deliberates over her choice of words. In the end, she yields.
Please do something. Anything to bring her out of this hole she's dug for herself. Whatever you do, break down her door, drag her out by her hair, even blow up that old mansion.
That is extreme.
Just don't let her hide in her stupid house. She'll let you inside now. There's no longer any power preventing you. I can sense it.
You know this place well. Have you visited her here before?
So many pretty lady on this event. Caroline bites her lip, holding back the words on the tip of her tongue. Then she walks away.
I think Miss Bartley wants to come in with us.
Maybe so, but she's made her choice. She doesn't want to join us inside.
Tooth Fairy shakes the jar in her hand, not containing her usual tooth fairies, but filled with a collection of lanolin snails. What? Is that the same jar? Is that even hygiene?
Let's go, Flutterpage. We still have work to do.
Whatever you say, Miss Witch Doctor.
The two of them step cautiously into the garden, the soil compacting under their feet. There is nothing left to obstruct their path. They step around a few threatening-looking plants as they take the winding road to the creaky oak door. Tooth Fairy goes to knock, but the door swings open the moment her knuckle hits its surface.
The door isn't locked. Let's get inside.
I'm getting inside. Don't shoot. If you have a shotgun, don't shoot. Willow sits at the table, prepared for one. Wait, I just remember this one is in the UK, not America. Surrounded by an exorbitant amount of half-finished food. Aside from the full English she's currently tucking into, there's a Scotch egg, a half-eaten cod and chips, and a steaming apple crumble. Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Sorry to interrupt.
Willow casts aside basic manner, neglecting to invite her guest to sit, and cuts herself another piece of sausage.
Diets high in sugar and fatty oils may well lead to stomach illness, Miss O'Hagan.
She continued to eat her lavish brunch.
I choose the name Tooth Fairy instead of my real name, Campbell. But did you choose to let people call you Willow? Or do you prefer the name Charlotte O'Hagan? That is the name of an excellent Uluru floor ritualist.
Is a floor ritualist an actual sport? Just wondering. The crash of silverware interrupts her once more. Then Willow sweeps her arm across the table. The silver dishes clatter loudly as they fly to the floor.
Tooth Fairy. Some kind of doctor, right? I think your prescription is a little fuzzy. I'm no athlete. I've only got one leg. This Charlotte has nothing to do with Willow. Just like I've nothing to do with the Uluru Games.
So far as I know, the Uluru Games do not exclude people with disabilities from full participation.
To be sure, but only if you enjoy parading yourself around for embarrassment. I think I'll pass, thanks.
No one should feel embarrassed by competing, least of all the competitors challenging themselves. That is the point of the Uluru spirit.
Willow rises with great effort, furiously stamping the floor with her prosthesis in the process.
Excuse me? I don't remember having asked you for a running commentary.
I'm sure you already know the answer in your heart. You have wisdom and experience.
Who even invited you here? It's time you leave.
I'm here representing our mutual friend, Flutterpage.
At the mention of this name, Willow pauses and takes a step back.
What for?
I understand that usually the only one welcome inside is Flutterpage, but I'm here to apologize on her behalf.
Apologize?
She places a small jar of snails on the table.
What's this?
An apology gift. She ran off a little before sunrise to collect these for you. She collects these arcane creatures you use to make the lubricant for your prosthesis, right? But she's afraid that you'll get angry at her again, so she asked me to give it to you.
Oh, I see. Now I'm the hateful, angry, wicked witch.
No, you're not. The things that these people say about you, they aren't true. As I mentioned, Flutterpage wanted to apologize because, quote, she didn't want to break your heart. Miss Bartley has told her many things about you. She never knew you're such an outstanding competitor.
Caroline?
Tooth Fairy slowly pushes the jar of snails closest to her. Closer to her.
Will you accept her gift?
Willow delicately places her fingertips on the jar, neither pushing it away nor taking it.
Ugh, nosy little brat. Where is she now? In the temporary hospital?
You want to see her?
The witch feature twists like a knot.
Don't push me!
She pulls the snail jar closer to her.
All right, it's my own fault. I shouldn't have treated her that way. That what you wanted to hear, is it? Fine then. You'll have what you want. Just take me to her.
She's waiting by the door.
What?
Flutterpage cautiously peeks out from the edge of the door frame, her white eyes scanning the room for any sign of danger.
Miss Willow.
Oh, daughter. At this point, there is no turning back.
Fine. Come on in then.
Unable to deal with her emotions, tears well up in Flutterpage's eyes once again. No!
Stop your crying. Listen,
Oh, don't cry, child.
I shouldn't have treated you so wickedly the last time. And the time before that.
Tooth Fairy gives a silent nod.
Now would you stop that crying? At least not
No
here
one can
in
handle
my...
the cry. No one can handle that cry. Without a moment's hesitation, Flutterpage charges toward her. Willow's hand open and closed like a spider raising its front leg in fear. She's not sure whether she can catch this chaotic bundle of rags.
Oi,
Oh, it's so cute. She manages to catch her, only to be knocked back to the floor.
I'm sorry. I'm really very sorry.
Oh no, Flutterpage.
I swear I won't break into your house no more. I'll only come in when you let me. I'll do anything you ask. Say anything you need me to say, miss.
She unconsciously looks to Tooth Fairy, only to see that her full attention is directed at the Uluru floor ritual painting on the wall. Tooth Fairy just doesn't give a shit. Willow gently taps the back of Flutterpage's neck through several layers of old clothing.
So, could I still come around again sometime?
Yes, of course. It's always open 24/7 for you. Willow presses her hand to the girl's mouth, stifling her sob.
Stop your crying first, lass.
Okay, I'll stop crying.
With a soft push, Flutterpage drifts into the air like a sheet caught in the wind. Even with the removal of Flutterpage's weight, Willow is left on the floor, unable to get up.
Can I help you?
Flutterpage moves closer, reaching out both hands in line with Willow's. She takes the offered hand and rises steadily, the sudden gust of wind helping her find her balance.
Enough. Enough. I've had too much of this for one day. Would you mind if I politely asked you to leave? You do have a black fog to chase after all, don't you? Just so you know, it truly has nothing to do with me.
Miss O'Hagan.
Call me Willow, child. What else do you want to say?
Would you let the food stay in your tummy for a bit longer? Eat a little more. I don't want you to be so skinny.
Willow pries Flutterpage's arm from around her waist, gently pushing her back. Why?
All right, now leave me be, please.
Tooth Fairy takes Flutterpage's hand, and as they leave the room, the old house sinks back into silence. There is no sound save for the heavy ticking of the grandfather clock. I'm just imagining the Tooth Fairy is holding Flutterpage's hand going outside like a mom.
She's seen too much of this embarrassing side of me.
There's nothing embarrassing about that, Willow, don't worry. Yeah. It's very wholesome, actually. This relationship.
So, I dreamt of eating a marshmallow last night, but it tasted like rubber. And the next day, my wife asked me why I ate the cotton she had in her nose. I said it's because the air was so dirty that I wanted to block up my throat. And she laughed. Of course. She says it might be better now that I can't shout and holler whenever someone scores.
This hardly have any fight, actually. A burst of static fills the air as the radio owner changes the station.
These are the highest level of professional arcanists. Their abilities lie far beyond the limits of our bodies, our perception, and everything else.
I think it was supposed to be a comedy, but it's just not funny.
Arthur, mate, do you know what you're doing?
Go on then. Be a little louder. May as well let everyone know a trusted servant of His Majesty's government and his talking hat are hiding out in a pile of litter.
What is he doing?
Oh, that's what you're worrying about? I guarantee you, no person in their right mind will think that a brilliant mind such as yourself would decide to hide in a rubbish pile pretending to be a potato.
That is a really long line, okay? Is no...
Aha. Since when did you become a comedian?
I learned from the best, mate. Once I'm back in Oz, I hope to be awarded the title of Duke of Sydney Slapper. Not that anyone gives a toss about titles of nobility back home. We've got more important things to worry about in the Redlands down under.
Sydney Slapper.
You know, Brimley, old chap, you don't have to be a duke to be above people. All you need is someone tall enough to wear you on his head.
Bloody oath, mate. Like I'd let anyone pop me on their head. I'm an intelligent being, not a bloody accessory.
Shh.
Oh, I really like Brimley. A small monocle. Huh?
Look at that sailor over there. See the ropes in his hand? That
No,
right there is presently the most valuable material in all of London to me.
Right, a bit of rope. And what about it, mate?
What about it, mate?
It's essential that I have it for my invention. We'll just wait for him to throw the ropes into the pile here, and then we'll be off. Just as simple as that. Come closer. Closer. Ready now. He's nearly here. It's no longer useful to you, son. Just throw it down.
A bowl of freshly extracted fish guts is poured over him. Ew.
Mate, there's a lot of good that's come of being awakened. I treasure all the adventures we've shared. But I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't have awakened if I knew I'd end up in a rubbish bin covered in fish guts.
Just a little mistake. Just a little mistake.
What are all these for, exactly?
Mr. Fogg gestured for Brimley to come closer. Then, with a proud whoosh, opens the large sack he's been filling over the last 3 days.
These are my collections so far. A klaxon, a watering can, a fishbowl, and...
a chamber pot?
I think Fogg is losing it. Despite his lack of facial features, Mr. Fogg can sense Brimley disdain.
You've gone full bonkers, mate. You're the fog walker. Aren't you ashamed of hiding in rubbish, stealing old junk?
It's not junk, old chap. Every piece here will be invaluable to our work.
I don't know what is that sound? Mr. Fogg's face hardened as he turns his gaze toward Brimley.
Each one is a necessary component for my invention.
I think it's my keyboard.
Your invention?
For... Ahoy, sailor! You over there, please wait!
Mr. Fogg's attention is clearly still fixed on the sailor.
Would you mind terribly leaving us those old ropes you've got there?
Good lord, he's bound for the sanitarium at this rate.
Move along, no pushing. Everyone will have their chance to vote for their favourite competitor.
Oi, Sweeney, you only pushed me out of the queue. Good bloody job, mate.
I'm voting for number 007, Molson.
Molson? The first timer? Not all your life, mate. I'm down for 005
Brimley, you don't
Barbie.
have to be
She's
that
the top
sarcastic.
seed.
Keep it on the, yeah. The alley is full of stalls for the Uluru qualifiers. A crowd of people is gathered, their faces painted with Uluru symbols in anticipation of the event.
3 days to the qualifiers.
Huh?
That's while you still can. Oi!
So that means we already
You over there
passed
with the
more than
butt
2
rolling.
weeks.
Come on over and vote for the winner. Oi, mister, stop your pushing.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
Sorry, mate, we're on patrol.
Sir, we're the situation over there.
Let's follow them. Now introducing the competitors for the Uluru London qualifiers.
Bartley! Bartley! Bartley!
Oh, Will is still alive.
Oi! Who pushed me?
Ouch! Mind your step, will ya?
Me? Was you that pushed me, weren't it? You should be the one minding your own feet.
Arthur, I think we're only making things worse trying to move through this crowd.
What are they doing?
Looks like we found our troublemakers. What do we do?
Keep up with them and bring him in.
Yes, sir.
What is their purpose?
Which of these darlings shall we attend to first?
Loading. Charging.
Please, allow me.
Target confirmed.
It's just so funny that Lucy just keep one-shotting
And now,
everyone.
to return to my long-term mission.
I think it's
Rest.
maximum. I'm pretty sure it's maximum.
Arthur, next time, don't get me involved. I think I'm feeling sick.
But he gave us the rope after all.
What's the rope for? Mr. Fogg grins as he looks at the small length of rope in his hand.
Stop right there!
He turns his head, and there, standing behind him, are 2 constables.
Seems you two rough sleepers are wanted in connection with a fight breaking out on Cross Street. I'll ask you to come quietly and cooperate.
Mate, say something.
Wonderful. Now I have everything I need for my experiment. The properties of this sea-worn rope should be able to conduct the large particles into the purification vessels.
What?
Mate, shut your gob for a minute and listen.
Yes, perfection. But how to measure and screen the size of the particles? We will need more sophisticated equipment. Huh? Why am I being handcuffed?
Because you're being placed under arrest, sir.
The moment the 2 constables draw near, they freeze in place.
Wait a second.
Oh. Their eyes widen.
Mr. Fogg, is that you?
Bloody hell! Are you seriously telling me you recognize Fogg before me? How many talking hats do you know?
Bravely! You're so
Terribly
precious.
sorry, gentlemen. I might not have recognized you through all this fog, were it not for that iconic umbrella of yours.
Oh, naturally. Just as I've somehow failed to recognize the 2 ignoramuses that tried to handcuff a hat.
The sarcastic of this guy is so good. The shorter constable give a series of subtle eyes signals to the other.
We're sorry again, Mr. Fogwalker and Mr. Brimley. But we do need to ask you some questions. What with you running around, disturbing the peace and nicking all these strange things you've got there?
Oh, I didn't steal anything. This is all just rubbish, and it's for official business. I'm going to lift the fog from London.
Whoa. The 2 constables pauses for a moment before their faces break into awkwardly sardonic smiles.
I see, I see. All just a terrible misunderstanding, then. Naturally, a bit of old rope, a car horn, unmistakably the latest in technology. Anyways, mates, Best we let you go. You've got a city to save. We'll be off now.
With the handcuffs removed, Brimley takes a moment to stretch.
Glad that's over. I'm no fan of handcuffs, even if I don't have any hands.
Wait, how did they actually handcuff Brimley?
A little quiet, old chap. I'm just in the middle of a thought. How might I assemble it?
I'm sorry, mister, but I just heard what happened.
Huh?
Huh?
Huh? Neither one of them had noticed the little girl who had appeared before them. She looks only half as old as Flutterpage.
Did you say lifting the fog, mister? Are you really going to get rid of the big, scary fog monster?
She blinks, her eyes bright and sparkling as she stares at Mr. Fogg like a little goldfish in a tank.
Will that mean you can cure my mummy? And bring back the blue sky?
Brimley glances at Mr. Fogg.
Right?
When no one responds, the little girl grows anxious.
And then we can still have the Uluru Games, right?
Her eyes dart back and forth between Brimley and Mr. Fogg, looking for any trace of comfort.
My mummy said if the fog keeps sticking around making people sick, then the games won't come.
A faint sob starts to creep into her voice. Mr. Fogg crouches down and shakes his sack of treasures, spreading them out on the ground.
Mate, this really isn't the time or place.
A klaxon, a probe, a spoon, and a spool of weathered rope. Assembled like so, perhaps using a large pot, or a baby's bathtub.
It's kind of like Olympic. Yes, it is like Olympic for Arcanists. He furrows his brow, absorbed in the task at hand. The girl gets on her knees as she leans in to get a closer look.
It will still need a touch of the miraculous.
He gently blows into the base of the glass vessel. Oh. There's a crackling sound as a few sparks of light flash briefly in the glass container. Before long, a tiny steady light is glowing within.
Voila!
Oh? It absorbed the thing?
It's breathing.
The machine hums as it draws in air, filters it, and releases it through the other side.
Yes!
But it's so small!
The Uluru qualifiers will not just be fog-free, my little friend. They will be sunny. But I'll need some help. Would you and your friends join me in this project, young lady?
The little girl's face blushes red.
Yes, I'll help. I'll ask my grandpa, my mummy, and Auntie Martha to help
it's
too.
It's like sucking fart. Is it because the color is yellow?
The more the merrier. We are going to build the largest fog purification machine on Earth. The London Air Pollution Auto-Detect Cleaner.
That just looks like a great honking big vacuum to me, mate.
Sulis, Sulis, all life's offerings I bring,
if only we have this kind
as
of machine in real
sacrifice
life.
to you from the growing spring. The light will sprout within the world's egg lay. Your endless quest brings parents' joyful day.
Parents' joyful day.
What are you, a parrot?
After hanging in the upside-down pose of her ribbon dance for an hour, Willow finally decides to break the silence.
Fine. Keep on then. Annoy an old woman to death if you like.
Another bad mood, eh, Miss Willow? This one's your worst this week. I counted it up.
every 32 hours, steady as a clock. You start scolding me, scolding the plants, the ants, even flowers.
I thought we'd agreed. No more peeking round my house without permission.
Yeah, but you didn't kick me out, did you? And you gave me some rye bread and lemon jam. Don't quite know why you keep trying to act the big meanie, Miss Willow. I know you're a softie now, deep down.
Everyone is a softie to you, Flutterpage. Whoa, 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 whoa. The ribbon suspending Willow finally gives away, sending her quickly to the ground. She hits the floor with a heavy thud.
Miss Willow!
Ouch!
No, Willow. Oh.
It hurts.
Are you practicing for the qualifiers?
Oh, what's Caroline? A distant voice reaches her. The corner of Willow's mouth twitches.
Hello again, Miss Swan.
A blonde woman stands on the other side of the garden fence, her face half covered by the curled stems of a carnivorous plant. Is it blonde? I always thought it was white. I'm still not sure who is the villain here. Could it be Caroline? I love how Flutterpage call half of the people with nickname instead of their real name. Kids.
Be careful. Now you can spit it out. Right.
Ew. Vomit plunges into a bucket. Tooth Fairy doesn't spare it a second thought.
That's the 5th one today. I added a bit of powder into the candy to loosen up their phlegm. It should help them breathe a little easier.
Thank you so much, Doctor. We really had no idea what to do with this new variant of tuberculosis. You and the Foundation have been a real asset to us.
Handle it.
You're welcome. This is a matter of vital health for all of us. I'm very glad to see the treatment is proving effective. And I hope that our clinical experience here might contribute to solving this fog curse as well.
All I'm hoping for is for this mess to end soon, so we can go watch the games together.
Really? So the staff here are fans of the Uluru games as well?
Not just the staff. Everyone here loves a bit of sport. We're always listening to the broadcasts over the radio down in the ward. It's all quite motivating. Sometimes we even get the patients out onto the commons to practice. Something about the coming of a big sporting event always brings people together.
That's all very good to hear. But actually, it was this poster that grabbed my attention.
She points to the small poster pinned beside the bed. Oh, Willow. The picture is faded. It's too difficult to make out the face of the athlete.
That's her. Gorgeous, isn't she?
May I ask who she is?
She happens to be this patient's favorite competitor of all time. She collected all of her posters and clippings. She even keeps a few photos of her as a bookmark, and in her purse.
So it's like floor ritualist is like a ballet?
Her favorite ritualist.
Looks like you haven't had a proper guest in ages. Have you forgotten how to make a cup of tea?
You like to presume, don't you?
Wow.
So why are you here then? Just to enjoy the sound of a door slamming in your face?
She doesn't look old when she doesn't use the witch costume.
Oh, how terrible of me for wanting to visit an old friend.
So then, Miss Bartley, you came all the way down from Yorkshire just to
I really
gawk
like the
at an old
aesthetic
rival?
between these two, Willow and
I should
Caroline.
feel lucky, should I?
Truth is, I don't care to chatter about with you. Not now, not ever. So you can just turn around and march yourself home. Flutterpage, back to business.
After glancing at Caroline, Willow turns and gives Flutterpage a look. It's like yin and yang, doesn't it? Yeah, I really like it. But Flutterpage is too busy staring at Caroline, her face vacant.
Why'd you send her away like that? She just wants to practice with you. She likes you.
Focus on your stopwatch. On the count of 3. No time to waste.
She's still there.
She's none of our concern.
And you ain't seen each other in a long time. Bet she misses you a lot.
For Pete's sake, Buzzy. No one does something like that just out of the goodness of their own heart. She has her reasons.
Flutterpage obediently closes her mouth, but can't help herself from giving Caroline a reluctant glance.
Charlotte, you know she's right. I have missed you. I want to see you. But if you really want to know the reason, I want to challenge you again. The question is, do you?
Do you know her? Charlotte O'Hagan. Oh, right. That's the name. Truth is, if it weren't for our little patient, I doubt I'd remember her. Most people think she's too old to compete now, that she's retired to God knows where. Others say she's become an addict, wasting her life away.
Oh, that's very sad.
I guess I heard in the gossip rags that some people think she's
It's like an
keeled over
actual
and died.
athlete story.
Too bad for this young lady, but I doubt we'll ever see her in the games again.
Like, and how long has it been since she retired? Quotation
Wherever
mark.
she is. She's like us not to lose, even if she did compete.
You just want to announce to the world you've beat me, eh? Think that'll be a fair challenge, do ya? Perhaps you ought to find someone a little more your speed. Someone who's still in one piece. Again, Miss Bartley. Please turn around. I haven't any sort of
I think
tea
they
you'd
should
like.
make Caroline playable.
You have changed, haven't you, Charlotte?
After a brief moment of surprise, Caroline throws a ribbon at Willow. The ribbon lashes fiercely, grazing the side of Willow's body before shooting past her.
What the blazes are you doing? What?
Whoa. Caroline pulls the ribbon back toward her, the cup landing squarely in her hand. She stands there calmly, her eyes still on Willow.
You just said you don't have any tea I'd like. But I think this one is just to my taste.
Wow, she's so cool.
Wow, Miss Willow, that ribbon is amazing. It can go from long to short in a second.
A little toss of the ribbon to take control of an object at a distance of 10 meters. Catch an object after a turn. You did it. Well done. But your aesthetics were lazy. You're controlling the angle of your left shoulder, which is good, but it only means you're compensating for your poor stance.
What then? Are you expecting me to say thank you?
No need. Thank yourself for all that hard practice you must have done over all those years. You're almost good enough now. Almost.
Damn.
Keep the cup. Let's go back to our timing, Flutterpage.
All right. Goodbye, Miss Swan.
For a moment, Caroline stands there, motionlessly, cup in hand. Then she gradually lowers her eyes, places the cup on the fence post, and turns to walk away. She has barely walked a few steps when Willow's voice reaches her from behind. Not loud, but clear.
Oh, by the by, the ribbon technique you just did, I know you learnt it from me. From my performance at the Beltane exhibition match. Am I right?
There, Willow just rubbed it to her face, isn't she? The tone of her voice makes it almost impossible to simply walk away.
Excuse me?
Each and every move, you copied it from my routine, right down to the ribbon.
There, Willow is starting a fight.
What?
Miss Swan, your face is all red.
Sure,
like my
Julian, no
daddy's
problem.
face when he reads a funny joke in his punch books.
Me? Learnt from you?
Did she blush?
You were taunting me right in front of my face, with my own routine. The very innovator that made it. I suppose it was just an attempt to win my approval, was it?
You really think that, don't you?
But I'm afraid you're not different than when we last competed, Caroline. Aye, you're diligent. But you were never graceful enough.
So Caroline probably like as old as her.
That's what holds you back from glory in floor ritual. Your aesthetic sensibility, it's all you've ever needed. But you still don't have it, do you now? You won't make any real progress reusing my old routines. Not unless you find your own way to express your pneuma and your own signature.
Shame and regret slowly creeps across Caroline's face as she struggles to contain her anger. Then it bursts forth.
You really are full of yourself, aren't you, Charlotte? Do you know how many titles I've won at the international tournaments? The Desert Floor Ritual Open, the Aurora Cup World Championship, and many others, let alone Uluru itself.
Yeah, but I'm not there though. Imagine Willow says that.
The name Caroline Bartley has long surpassed yours. I am the uncontested top seed in these games. The records of my skills, my own skills, are in the training manuals for new witches.
I just wonder like if that's the reason why Caroline looking for Willow, because she just want to prove herself to beat Willow.
Do you even know anything about
Not
the state of the
even
competition these days?
the
The rules and scoring systems
trophy.
are entirely different and higher in every way. The limits you once broke through are now considered standard for beginners.
Oof. Ooh.
Ha! But indeed, I learnt it all from you. Face it, you've been left behind. You're no longer the model of perfection. You're just a shooting star that shined too briefly but eventually fell away. I am the rising sun. My name will be eternal in this sport, long after yours is forgotten.
Damn. I love this rivalry. Willow smiles, her back turned to Caroline.
So be it. Go on. Be the glorious sun. And leave this fading star alone.
Caroline stands in shock as a couple of doves take flight, leaving behind a few drifting feathers. Caroline needs a validation for real. Yeah, I think so. I think she needs a validation from
Aunt Martha.
like it's the last achievement that he needed to accomplish.
Lisa, you're
Beat
back.
Willow.
We were just talking about you.
About me? What about me?
About your dream and your favorite competitor.
Oh. Oh, you mean Charlotte O'Hagan?
Yes, we...
That's great, but Mr. Fogg needs us for a project. He says we can still have the games if we all work together. Then maybe everyone will be able to attend the qualifiers. Maybe even Charlotte O'Hagan.
A project?
What sort of project?
The girl's cries draw the attention of everyone in the hospital, creating a buzz of confusion.
Give me a break. What are they planning to do this time? Another useless bill that won't pass the House of Lords?
Sorry for interrupting. Did I hear you mention Mr. Fogg?
Yes, Mr. Fogg. He said he's making something that will lift all the fog from London. It's his great invention. With everyone's help, we can build a huge machine. But he says we'll need lots and lots of things, such as, pistons for the mechanic lung, and...
Calm, steady footsteps grow nearer, and a large hand tousles the little girl's hair.
I'll take it over from here. Thank you, Lisa.
Mr. Fogg!
Mr. Fogg?
Mr. Fogg! I just want to join in. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, see you, Julian. Thank you.
Miss Willow, I think the water's been shut off. I opened it all the way, but nothing's coming out.
Oh no, have you paid for the bill? Flutterpage tilts her head as she brings it in close and sticks her little finger into the faucet, filling only a few drips of water. Dangling in mid-air, Willow wipes the beads of sweat from her face.
Go to the water resource office and ask the staff what's going on. If they're not there, they're probably at the gin barrel.
I know you want me to leave, but how are you going to track the time and score without me?
I wonder if she's practicing and I really think that she wants to come back.
With a heart that's pure and a body lean, to the hunt I go through forest green.
Her wand unexpectedly slips from her left hand and plummets to the floor.
Back! Pick it up and keep going, Charlotte. The movement's correct. First spin, then run the geranium over the shoulder, let it slide down the back, and as it falls to the ground, step on it to hop into the air. Then, Sulis, Sulis, all life's offerings I bring as sacrifice to you from the growing spring. Ugh, this is all wrong.
She holds, wrinkling her brow.
The flow needs to be smoother. All right. Let's try this again. The sprouting light within the world's egg lays.
She gracefully descends from the air, her mechanical prosthesis squeaking softly as she lands.
Hooray! You did it!
This element requires a 720-degree turn. I haven't even made it to 600.
Oh.
Once more from the beginning. Your endless quest brings parents joyful days.
Her body has collapsed on this rotted wooden floor countless times today, and with the settling sun, each fall feels heavier than the last.
How about this time?
Whoa.
I did it.
You did what?
I completed the element. I did it.
Blimey!
Blimey!
So you mean you did that move you've always talked about?
A 2.5 turn with free leg backwards and upwards. Wand throw and catch.
Does that mean you can complete the ritual too?
Oh, Father Page.
Yes.
Willow examined the geranium in her hand, the tender pink leaves quietly resting in her palm. Not a single petal has fallen or been harmed in any way.
All right. That's enough for today. It's supper time. Your mother must be waiting for you to come home with beef stew, fried fish, and bread.
But why? You usually train for about 3 more hours.
Not today. I need a break. Ah, I'm totally exhausted.
Flutterpage stays exactly where she is, showing no desire to move.
Why are you still standing there? Do I need to get His Majesty's limousine to pick you up?
Oh, I get it. If I don't leave now, the critters in the garden will bite my ears.
She mumbles onto herself as she quickly makes her way to the door.
Good. I won't see you off.
The gust of wind blows in through the door as Flutterpage makes her exit. With a flick of Willow wand, she slams it shut behind her. This relationship between Willow and Flutterpage is so wholesome. The room settles back into its muted, oppressive stillness. Willow steps into the pale yellow light of the kitchen and shuts the door behind her.
Bloody. You filthy little stain. Whoever gave you permission to stick to my cauldron?
Willow sits beside the sink, absorbed in cleaning her cauldron.
Look at me. I have a whole sink of dishes that haven't been washed. And here I am, fighting a little stain on a cauldron. And when the water's just shut off too. I did ask Buzzy to visit the Water Resource Office. Hopefully it didn't slip her mind. If she even knows how to use it.
Don't you dare talk about that. Call Flutterpage.
Never mind. I can clean it off without water.
Why suddenly we are fighting?
Embrace.
Ew! You're supposed to be the germ or the dirty.
Charging. Loading.
Do have a little faith in me, Master.
The light that illuminates all.
Wow, that is the first time that I didn't one-shot it.
Although we come from different lands, we share the same dream.
Together we are fierce.
Got it. It's off. You stubborn little thing. Everyone loathes you. Avoids you like the plague. You're just a pathetic little stain clinging to what you can. Do you have no shame to sully the sacred floor with your artificial leg?
Huh?
So what if you finish the element? It won't bring back your leg. Without it, you're no different from a clown. How could you possibly compete again? You're not qualified. No. I'm not. All the money I spent on this leg. All the efforts I made to finish the ritual. They're utterly pointless. When was the last time I ate dessert? or even a chip, for that matter. Year after year, I've trained harder, and alas, to make up for my leg. But what's the point?
She flings the scrubbing brush into the cauldron, and her heavy breathing gradually slows down.
Forget it. Everything will be all right.
So I wonder if she actually planned to join the qualifier.
Just give up. Stop thinking
no.
about it. Stop hoping. Don't look back or ahead. Just look at the cauldron.
Beneath the dim light, Willow raises her now sparkling clean cauldron to eye level.
See how clean it is now? Stop clinging to places where you don't belong. The world is perfect without you.
The rusted faucet suddenly sputters out a blast of water. It splashes across the counter, startling Willow. So Flutterpage doesn't forget then. Willow leaps back with the reflexes of a true athlete. Her gaze quickly falls on the piece of paper on the table.
No!
She dashes forward, snatching the paper away from the raging spray of water. It's the registration form for the Uluru London qualifier. She wants to join! Her hands clutching the form begin to tremble. Before long, the tremors have engulfed her entire body.
Still intact.
No.
Still intact.
Caroline stands at the center of the sports field in her training gear, feeling the fiery pulse of the ground beneath her feet.
Hey!
Whoa!
Miss Bartley! I finally found you!
Flutterpage, is that you? I can hardly open my eyes in all this wind. Where are you?
Why are you even taking off your coat though with this wind?
I'm right here!
The wind subsides as Flutterpage makes a hurried landing, nearly losing her balance.
You've been looking for me, have you? How did you find me?
I knew where you were staying in London, but you wasn't there when I arrived. Then, the landlady Erica told me to try the training field. Looks like she was right.
She was. I've been training here every day. You know, to settle in before the event.
Good luck then. Actually, I've come here to deliver a very important and urgent letter to you. Here.
A letter of challenge?
From Willow? The bold crook letters scrawled across the top proudly proclaimed the letter's importance.
I, Liberty Grove, on behalf of Charlotte O'Hagan, hereby challenge Caroline Bartley to see who will become the champion of the floor ritual in the Uluru Games.
Oh, her name is Liberty?
No matter if you're a seeded player, a champion, or the son you say you are, Charlotte O'Hagan, the only floor ritualist to master the 2.5 turn with free leg backwards and upwards, 1 throw and catch, will defeat you and win first place in the London qualifiers.
Woo!
What? You mean...
Willow is back. to think of it, I think like Tooth Fairies not really have too many role in here. She just kinda there for some reason.
Out of the way! Out of the way! I found the perfect component for Mr. Fogg's machine!
The boy darts through the bustling alley, slipping between the hats in the smoke and landing among the crowd at the corner of the square. The machine, about half the size of a person, is at the center of everyone's attention. The crowd members whisper to each other in excited tones.
This allows us to analyze the composition of the atmosphere.
He lifts his head above the crowd, his voice cutting through the chatter.
If the color of the filter paper meets that of the pollution standard, it will determine that the air is polluted and start working automatically. Let me show you.
Head turns as the crowd stares intently at the measuring tool in Mr. Fogg's hands.
Excuse me! Oi! Mr. Fogg, look! I found a glass stopper! It's the one you were looking for, right?
Stopper in hand, Freddy eagerly pushes through the crowd toward Mr. Fogg.
Oh, you found it. Yes, that's exactly what I need.
He gratefully takes the stopper.
Your attention, please. This glass stopper is one of the core components of this machine, which can harness the power of the sun to purify the air. Of course, this is only one component of many.
Are you done talking? We've given you everything you need. Where's our purification machine?
Quite right. We need to see the purification machine.
Discontent and suspicion start to surface among the crowd.
No need to worry, folks. Believe me, there is no one who wants this purification machine to work more than I. So, I've been doing some experiments.
Arthur! Maid!
Here!
Mr. Fogg looks across the crowd, his eyes bright with intent, prompting the crowd to part a path along the line of his gaze. Brimley, Tooth Fairy, and 3 dock workers appear at the end of the path. They're hauling a cart carrying a heavy machine.
Forgive me for not helping move it. I'm afraid I'm handless and horseless. I can't do a thing.
What the bloody hell is that? Some kind of mechanical freak?
Not to worry, Brimley. Now, folks, take a look at this. Thanks to your generous donations, my experiments on smog removal have finally come to fruition. Introducing the London Air Pollution Auto-Detecting Purifier Mark II. A high-power, multi-functional air-cleaning machine.
This was like a lung.
The current model can only operate for 3 hours at a time. But I'll continue to improve its performance before the qualifiers begin. It's estimated to last a whole day by then.
Wonderful! Simply wonderful!
A cheer up erupts from the crowd.
No more smog standing in our way!
Goodness, I can't remember the last time I saw the sun and breathed fresh air. I feel as though I've been rotting.
Amidst the raucous celebration, Brimley takes a moment to glance at Tooth Fairy, who is standing silently off to one side.
It's an honor to see that sweet smile of yours, doll.
I think I'm inspired somehow. I've always felt like a bit of an outsider in London, but this festive atmosphere makes me feel a sense of belonging.
I totally understand. Though I awakened in London, my true home is the land down under, thousands of miles from here. In some ways, I'm an immigrant. This sense of belonging is a treasure.
Inside the sleepy car, the radio broadcasts a variety of life updates.
Yes, As an East London resident, my chest swelled with pride when I learned that the Uluru qualifiers would be held here. I couldn't wait to see what would happen.
That's your 9th sneeze since we got here.
Ew, wear a mask or something.
Don't blame
Wait,
me.
they actually
I
already
didn't
wear
want
one.
to come. The Uluru committee ignored my application to stay at the Australian headquarters. They couldn't find anyone willing to come to London with all this smog in the air.
They didn't have much choice either, mate. The Foundation's been preparing for the qualifiers in London for ages. We'll suffer huge financial losses if it's cancelled. Someone has to make the trip to decide whether we should cut our losses or continue to throw money at it. You must have done something to be the lucky one who has to do the job.
Holy!
Did we actually hit Flutter Page again? The car screeches to a halt as a group of sooty critters scurry by the front bumper. As the shuffling subsides, the engine revs up again.
I do apologize. These little monsters are all over the streets these days.
Is it the same driver at the beginning?
He sounds so calm. You'd think he was just talking about stray cats. You have to admire the stoicism of the Brits, especially in the face of all this. Honestly, this environment's totally unsuitable for any kind of outdoor activity.
Hmm.
The Foundation member says nothing, quietly jotting something down in a notebook.
Hey, what are you doing?
Making note of the crash that almost happened. These records will be used to decide if the qualifiers should be cancelled. Someone has to be the doer, since we already have a whiner on the team, eh?
Somebody has to ship these two. With a sidelong glance at the scenery beyond the window, the man under the mask exhales softly.
Look at all the decorations and posters. So much preparation for an event that won't even be held.
I'm surprised they even want to hold the qualifiers, given the situation.
A gentle silence fills the car, its clarity as soft and blurred as the yellowish smoke outside.
Anyway, let's make it quick and get this job over with. Let me see. We need 2 things. Evidence that proves the environment isn't suitable for holding the qualifiers, and the profiles of all the participating athletes. Then we can go home.
Next, the changes made to Cross Street. Let's see what the local community has done to prepare for the upcoming event.
The driver reaches a trembling hand to the radio and quietly turns the volume knob to its minimum. On the busy street, a crowd gathers around Mr. Fogg and his purification machine. After some further iteration, its performance has greatly improved. Beside the device, the sign originally reading London Air Pollution Auto-Detecting Purifier MK2 now reads MK3, thanks to a single additional brush stroke.
3, 2, 1.
Start!
He pushes the red button on the machine. The contraption, pieced together from household goods, has a glass container housing a solid metal mechanical lung purifier. It comes to life with a deep rumble. Bit by bit, the yellow smoke hanging in the air is inhaled by its gaping vent. Eyes wide with wonder, the people watch as the world around them gradually turns clearer.
Wow! Look, Dad! Are those clouds in the sky? They're so white and fluffy.
Yes, so fresh. I've never felt anything like it.
Hey, I can even see Keaton's store 50 yards from here. Hello! See, Keaton's waving back!
A wave of joy ripples through the crowd as they erupt into excited conversation. Tooth Fairy watches Mr. Fogg. He's staring upward. There is no celebration from him, only a quiet contemplation.
The first week is for planning, the second for execution, and the last for delivery and paperwork. Looks like you've completed the tasks as scheduled. Are you relieved?
Mr. Fogg stands there, still staring at the blue sky above.
This Tooth Fairy. The sun is so golden and warm.
Don't mind him. He's all over the place after working non-stop for the last few weeks. He's just trying to say he's happy, that's all.
What about you? How do you feel?
Me? The ranger's soul inside me has always wanted to gallop beneath the blazing sun. Yahoo!
Brimley charges forward, gliding merrily above the heads of those around him. Tooth Fairy watches with a gentle smile, then something catches the corner of her eye.
Hmm? A critter? No. Is that the black fog?
Oh?
What's it doing here?
Guided by the traces of arcane energy, she takes a few steps over to the corner. A faint, shadowy haze momentarily clouds her vision, vanishing just as suddenly as it came.
I thought the black fog was a result of the increased density of regular smog in the air, but it seems I was wrong. Mr. Fogg's machine has cleaned up the smog around us, but the black fog's still here, and it's getting thicker. How curious. At least now, without the smog covering its trail, I can sense its movements more clearly.
Following her keen sense, Tooth Fairy suddenly slips into a narrow alleyway. I don't think you should go alone. Her nostrils sting as she enters the trail of the black fog. Doing her best to wave it off with her hand, she continues to follow the trail of the enigmatic presence. Something tiny and black seems to shudder in a corner deep within the alley.
What's that?
Oh? The black creature springs into motion, vanishing from her sight in the blink of an eye.
Huh?
Now doesn't feel like the time to focus on that little dark lump.
The smog's back.
The smoke rolls back in, but this time it has taken on a thick, blackened quality, and is accompanied by a handful of unexpected intruders.
I did hear that these little things tend to gather in the quiet alleys of Cross Street. Perhaps they're like a visit from the Tooth Fairies.
Wow. Or a visit from
Come together
Angel.
to conquer this great weight.
Perfectly understood.
Loading, charging.
Oh, okay, just two. Okay.
Loading, charging.
Listen. Do you have a little faith in me, Master?
Aim and shoot.
Feel this dark embrace. Now, to preserve this
Slipped away at the first opportunity.
She can't make out where they went through the thickness of the smoke.
I knew it.
Slightly fatigued, she paused to tidy up her hair.
But what exactly was it?
Okay, so I think I'm going to stop here and continue tomorrow. I think there are going to be like 19 stages overall, maybe 20 or 21 including like some epilogue. So I should be able to clear it tomorrow. But yeah, I should stop now because it's already late. I'm probably gonna start early tomorrow, so yeah, just in case it's going to take as long as today. So yeah, anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you on the next stream. So bye bye.